Now, I doubt that there's anyone out there who doesn't know what Saw is, but to just say it anyway, it's a 2004 horror film written by Lee Winnell and directed by James Wan. I figured this would be a good time to do some Saw reviews because Spiral, the ninth Saw movie, is coming out in about 5 weeks. So to ramp up and get us ready, Saw reviews. So the basic plot of Saw is there's this maniac who goes by the name of Jigsaw who devises traps and games for people to get out of. And if you don't get out of it, you die. Jigsaw has a puppet named Billy who makes frequent appearances throughout the franchise. This movie stars Lee Winnell, Carrie Elwes from The Princess Bride, Danny Glover, a couple of different people from Lost. It's a low-budget, grimy horror flick that kind of defined horror in the early 2000s and created a subgenre of torture horror. So let's start with the cons of Saw. While a lot of the directing is handled very well, because it's James Wan, we know he knows how to direct, some of it is filmed in this jerky, hectic way where it makes it feel almost like a heavy metal music video from the early 2000s, and that throws you off and it doesn't age well, but for the most part it's filmed in a way that creates suspense and tension. With the writing, sometimes you can tell it's the work of a young writer or a writer who hasn't had a ton of experience. Some of the lines come off as a little corny, cheesy. The way the police officers are written, their police work is questionable and shoddy at best, and downright illegal at worst. While all the main actors do a good job, some of the side character actors are they're a little bad, but they're not in the movie a ton, so it's not too distracting. Sometimes with song choices or just the way it's filmed, it feels so like the early 2000s that it like physically hurts here in 2021. And just the fact that it is so low budget, you can tell where they cut corners sometimes, but most of the time you can glaze over that and try not to focus on it. Okay, now for the pros. The set design is grimy and disgusting and really awesome. The bathroom where a lot of the movie takes place is so iconic that whenever I go into a grimy bathroom now, I say, what is this, the bathroom from Saw? Also, I feel like I should say this now, the movie has some blood and gore, but not nearly as much as you would think. The movie gets this reputation for being so bloody and gory, and it's really not more than most horror movies I've ever seen. It wasn't until the later Saw movies that they got out of control, and you were like, oh my god, what is wrong with you? The mystery and the tension building that they create at the beginning is really awesome because it pulls you in. You really wonder, how did these people get here? What's going on? How are they going to get out? And let's not forget to mention one of the things that made this movie so interesting to talk about and what made it a staple of horror movies is how cool the traps are. You know Lee Winnell and James Wan had to have had a great time just sitting there being like, all right, what is the next really messed up trap that we're going to create? While some of the music choices are really dated and kind of take you out of it, the actual score and Saw theme are incredible. If you played them for anyone now, they'd be like, oh yeah, that's the Saw music. It's still super creepy, still super fitting to the tone of the movie. It was a great choice. And finally, the best part of the movie, which I will not spoil in case you, for some reason, haven't seen this and are watching this review, the ending. This movie has one of the all-time twist endings, right up there with The Sixth Sense. It's amazing, and that's why this movie has lived on for 17 years and we're still talking about it. While Saw may be technically flawed in some areas, it sure is a fun time watching. I'm going to give it a 7.8 out of 10. This was a game well worth playing. You know, we may need to attribute the success of escape rooms now to Saw. Saw was like the original escape room. Alright guys, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, tell all those horror fanatics you know, tell your local librarian, tell that guy who leaves the Christmas lights on his house well into July.
Live or die. Make your choice.
Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.